Hey there everyone, it's Scurvy back again with another video. Well, it's a video that I promised I'd make, and it's the follow-up to my dating app video. So let's just jump right into it. So the dating app that I used was Hinge, and it's mainly because of the culture on there. Well, I thought it was going to be a little different, but something a little similar to Tinder because of a change that Hinge implemented last year, which kind of killed the point of the app. It's nothing really more than just a more restrictive Tinder now. But anyways, I digress. I'll tell you the results that I got, but before I do, I'll tell you what I was anticipating would happen. I anticipated that I'd get a couple matches and maybe go on a date or two. But reality was I only got one match and no dates. And the one match I got, the conversation was very short, and it was because she wasn't looking for anything long term, and I was. She wished me some luck on my search, and I said thanks. And then in my mind, I was like, why the fuck are you using Hinge? You could just be using Tinder. I also do want to talk about my profile a little bit. Like, I'm not going to show anything from it, like no pictures, no prompts. I'm just going to go over the process. The first iteration of my profile, let's be real, fucking sucked. I think everybody's first iteration of a dating profile kind of sucks. But I felt like mine was especially sucky. But eventually I did refine it with some better pictures, some better prompts. Now, the thing is, for me, when it comes to pictures, I don't really like taking pictures of myself all that much. I think it kind of takes the focus away from the event and more on like me. Other than that, for the prompts, like I really did not know how to fill them out properly, but I'd say it wasn't until week 2 that I was able to kind of make some decent prompts. And yeah, that's it for my profile. Now to the main point of this section of the video. I think these dating apps are fucking evil. But you're probably wondering, but Scurvy, if you think they're evil, then why are you using them? And it's simple. Because I'm not really meeting a whole lot of people in where I'm at right now. I'm not really incentivized to talk to people in real life. And at the gym, most people just have their headsets on anyways. Like I do too. But anyways, back on track here. I watched a really good video from Moon about Tinder and why it's evil. And I think the part of the video that really hit me the most, and I think this is the most evil thing about dating apps, is just like it continuously makes the 80% of guys that use it just like miserable. I think this shit is like really bad for like mental health. And this is actually a conversation my brother and I were having in the car one time about like male self-esteem. And it's just like when it comes to these apps, it's like you need to have a red-pilled mindset when it comes to using these, because if you don't, like you're just going to be absolutely miserable. Like and I think that's pretty evil. Like the way that Tinder and other dating apps just exploit this, like the loneliness that many guys are like feeling and going through these days, myself included. And it's just like what they do is that, to quote Moon in that video, is just like it gets people addicted to the feeling of progress, not that you're actually progressing. And I actually felt this, like even when I got that one match, like I felt like I was actually progressing. Not that I actually made any progress. I simply just pressed a button and, I saw the match and my dopamine receptors went off. Like that's it. What I went through on Hinge is like what 80% of guys go through. Like they might get a match, or maybe they might get no matches. But even if they get a match, it's just like either A, the conversation's gonna fizzle out, or B, the girl is gonna chew you out on something that you can't control, or maybe you can, but she perceives it as annoying, and is gonna bitch to you about it. What happens, with this 80% in particular, is that, of course they're gonna get frustrated. Of course they're gonna start feeling like shit. And then all of a sudden, dating apps introduce like these, the super likes, or on Hinge it's roses. I don't think Tinder really has something like roses. They have super likes, but they don't necessarily function like roses. I think it's mainly a statistical difference in like how much it boosts your profile to somebody. But anyways, I'm getting off track again. The thing is, these dating apps, they also include these fucking premium subscriptions just so you could get infinite likes. Like that's diabolical. Because what those apps are doing is that, like, for the people who are really feeling desperate and alone, it's like they see, oh, I could pay $40 a month so I could get infinite likes. I don't even have to worry about buying roses anymore. I know there was like a night or two where I decided, hey, you know what? I'll get me some roses, but I didn't have the need to like go crazy, like just constantly buying them just so I could like give these chicks more likes, and them not being interested in my profile. It's just like that's what happens. It's like you're literally just funneling your money to these companies, to these dating app companies, and you're not getting anything out of it. Like you're not getting any more recognition from your like compared to some other guy, or in this instance could be Chad. The thing is, when it comes to the 80% of guys that are using these and that are just feeling like shit, it's just like that's by design. But as to why I'm gonna be sticking with Hinge, it's because, well, I got nothing else. I don't really have any other way to really meet people, and even at work, I just say hi to the customer and take care of their order. Might be some small talk at the bar section of the place, but even then, I'm not trying to like hit on people because, well, they're much older than me. I will say I do like the conversations that we have, though. They're pretty good. But anyways, for the foreseeable future, and I guess for the time that I'm here in the state that I'm at, I don't really have another choice when it comes to meeting women, especially. I could try talking it up with the chick at the gym, but I'd probably get yelled at. Knowing what happened, like even back at college, it wasn't like I was trying to be like a creep or anything. I just wanted to say hi to like some friends, or former friends, I should say, and even try to help someone out at the machine. Time to move on to section 2 of this video. I'll have a post from forum.red, which is a red pill forum. It's quite literally in the name. About some other stuff as to why dating apps are just so miserable for guys to use. And it's also going to incorporate why chicks are going to be miserable in the future as well. It's not exactly the brightest timeline, you could say. Now let's start with part 2. So this is a forum.red post that I found from r/where are all the good men. Now, you might have heard of that, but as the subreddit r/where are all the good men, and I've lurked on it for quite a bit now, mainly to get some laughs at some, I guess, unfortunate souls out there. But I have this post up so we could actually read through it. So let's begin. As the community of Where Are All the Good Men grows over time, we often get members fairly new to the forum who post content that seems to fit our theme, but really doesn't. Some are posting women simply because they're fat or unattractive, others are posting women just wanting to hook up or cheat, and some are even posting men having relationship issues. While all of these relate to our theme in a way, it's It's not what we're about. What I'm about to say is going to be redundant, but this is so that our contributors and the community can have a greater understanding as to why we only allow specific content within a focused theme, rather than posts of women who are merely unattractive or behaving badly. The reading essentials, or TLDR, is the short version that follows. So this is the theme of the forum, or the subreddit, in the shorter way. Our central theme is exposing women who seek good men. Good men is capitalized. I'll go over that a little later as to why. For commitment and financial stability after dating jerks, riding the cock carousel. You can't really say that on YouTube. So guys' channels will just say the carousel, and who likely have children they want provided for. This is called a dual mating strategy, aka alpha fuck / beta box. That's one of my favorite little terms that exists. I always laugh every time I see it. This is a strategy of dating jerks and riding the carousel before settling down with a good man. Is not only planned by women, but it's encouraged by feminists. And I actually have a picture right here of Sheryl Sandberg. This is the only picture from this massive Imgur album I'm going to show, but it's important to understand that this is how, most women my age and modern women in general, this is how they think. When looking for a life partner, my advice to women is date all of them. The bad boys, the cool boys, the commitment phobic boys, the crazy boys. Lady, there's only one term for that kind of boy. You said it at the start, the bad boys. Anyways, continuing on. But do not marry them. The things that make the bad boys sexy do not make them good husbands. When it comes time to settle down, find someone who wants an equal partner. Someone who thinks women should be smart, opinionated, and ambitious. Someone who values fairness, and expects, or even better, wants to do his share in the home. These men exist, and trust me, over time, nothing is sexier. You see, this is a bunch of bullshit. Because the thing is, men and women are inherently different. Like, men are naturally driven to, work and provide. And women are naturally geared to rearing kids. So, already, what she's basically telling these young women, I assume, are reading this from Lean In, Women Who Work in the Will to Lead, who have read that book. That is the message they are picking up from this. And it's not a good message. Anyways, back to the post, because it will explain why the strategy that women are employing, using dating apps primarily, is not working. Continuing on, the decent, chivalrous men, often rejected for not being tall enough, thug enough, or just friends. I don't have any problem in the height department. Scurvy 6'3". Usually end up being the same men that women seek commitment from, because the bad boys she chose were too selfish, abusive, and irresponsible to care about her needs when she wants to settle down and needs stability. Unfortunately, by the time she seeks the good guys for commitment, her value is tremendously lowered due to some combination of depreciating looks, a promiscuous past, alpha widowhood, that's another term I'll explain a little later, and kids needing provision. And our purpose is to help decent men guard their commitment and resources to avoid upending in dead bedrooms while providing financial stability to women who pick them last. Avoid ending up... Okay, yeah, sorry, I thought that was a grammatical error. Posting women who are merely fat, unattractive, or behaving badly devalues the forum because it diverts attention away from women complaining about being single, their poor dating choices, and their sense of entitlement to good men's commitment and resources, all of which we are here to expose, we as in the forum. We, as in the forum, would also lose our uniqueness as a community because women behaving badly can be found in abundance on subs like r/MGTOW, banned, unfortunately, r men's rights, probably banned, and Our Pussy Pass. I believe it's called Our Pussy Pass Denied. Like that's what it is now. Good subreddit, though. We have a far greater impact on both men and skeptics by showing actual women complaining about being single rather than women whoring themselves without consequence. The bold, bulleted items listed below show the impact we have when posts fit the central theme. So we're not here to show when we think we'll be asking where are all the good men in the future. We're here to show women asking where are all the good men now. Examples of scrolling down. And I'm also going to read the long version of this too. I'm just gonna skip this part. So the first bullet point they listed down: to show good men the outcome of women who rejected them for jerks and promiscuity. We have a community of men who have been rejected by women because they weren't tall enough or hot enough or quote-unquote thug enough. Our sidebar on the subreddit speaks volumes to their experience as they saw firsthand the kinds of jerks women were dating and sleeping with. And we want to show them that the women who rejected them didn't exactly go on to live their happily ever after. That the jerk she chose eventually pumped and dumped her, or they knocked her up and abandoned her. Or that her looks continue to decline into spinsterhood as she holds out for Mr. Perfect, who still hasn't shown up yet. Posting content that fits the theme ultimately helps men blow off steam over rejection and maybe even get a few laughs along the way. Now, with this section, before I move on with the next one, this section, let's just say that some people I know, that's gonna be their path in the future. I'm telling them right now, like reading this, like that's their warning. That's their warning. That if they continue with this degenerate lifestyle that they're living, they're gonna end up like on this forum for men to laugh at. And no doubt, even the more traditionally minded women too, that like they like a good laugh. People in general like to laugh, whether they're men or women. And laughing at someone's misery, although somewhat cruel, can be for some good material. Not gonna lie. Next bullet point: to expose the dual mating nature of women so that good men can guard their commitment and raise their standards in the women they wish to date. So now I'm going to define what they mean by good men. So what they mean by a good man is someone, who is responsible, someone who is somewhat financially stable, someone who at least has some, I guess, gusto, not too much. You don't want to be overconfident now. And someone, who goes to the gym, they're in decent shape, could be a little bit better. That's who they're talking about, aka someone like me. The financial part, that's coming soon. But yeah, that's what this forum means by good men. Now on to the section. Our mods and endorsed members are of one mind that we want to use the forum to teach men about the nature of women. We have experienced dating. We have experienced dating and observing the kinds of women posted on our sub. We can read between the lines of what they say and what we understand their nature enough to make better decisions about how we could choose to associate with them. And we're helping decent men recognize the patterns so they don't make the same mistakes as we did. And the main pattern we're here to expose is women's dual mating strategy of alpha fucks, beta bucks. Yep. Which is defined here. Which is women's propensity to seek the most handsome and jerkish men for sex, while expecting resources and financial stability from responsible men. This strategy of dating jerks and riding the carousel before settling down with a good man is not only planned by women, but is encouraged by feminists, which only result in carousel riders bringing their self-serving, unappreciative, unstable behavior into long-term relationships. I'm going to add on to this a little and just say that's what hedonism does. There's a reason why the Coomer meme is so popular, because, the guy's senses, and particularly his dopamine, is just fried. Like, if you engage in constant, addictive behaviors, something is gonna get fried up. If you drink too much alcohol, like your vision's gonna start getting fucked up. You smoke too much weed as a guy, your testosterone's gonna get reduced, or your laugh's gonna change. Like people can tell, and there are physical, like physical, not just in the chemical reactions to something, but also in terms of appearance too, like something that can be seen by the naked eye. Anyways, perhaps the white knights are more forgiving of women who now want a quote-unquote real man after they consistently rejected decent men in their prime, but some of us would like to be something other than a wallet to the women we date. And that's a fair point. Like, in terms of my money right now, like that's why I'm working a job, so I could make some money. And so that's partially why, in terms of a first date, something I'd like to, I guess, tell people is like, you know, get like some ice cream, get a coffee. Like I'm not one for coffee, so I go with the ice cream route, and make sure you walk to the ice cream place, not merely just like get an Uber or drive there, because there's actually something special about like spending time with the person, like going to somewhere, walking with somebody. It actually is kind of special. I would know. That's literally a date that happened to me back in college, and I'd say it went pretty well. There are women who do appreciate like men just on their own. They do exist, and this forum and other men's channels actually help like good men, as they put it, like understand who to avoid and who to be with. And another problem with dating apps and the dating marketplace in general is that those actual goods are harder to find than ever. Anyways, next section. To help good men recognize women who would make poor companions, life partners, and mothers of their children. To summarize user Where My Good Men's original post, the reason why women's profiles, articles, or discussions make it here is because their behavior is not exposed as the lucid, self-destructive feminist ideology that it is, quote unquote. Putting up public posts of women's behavior is showing evidence of poor behavior leading to the cause of their unhappiness is the morally sound thing to do. When poor behavior is hidden, it becomes normalized, and from there susceptible to being masked as even good-natured or positive. Like that's actually like, to put things in a way like I guess normies can understand. I know, me using normie unironically. It's basically shifting the Overton window. We're seeing that a lot these days, as to how much, like, especially those on the left, I'd say, like that I don't know how they could put up with so much depravity that they're just like, that instinct of theirs is fried. Jokes aside, it's like, yeah, that's basically shifting the Overton window. Back to the thing here. We want to make sure good men are able to recognize a woman that would make a poor companion, life partner, mother of their children, and that they cannot do that if they are only being taught that it is acceptable to act that way, or they would be ashamed for having spoken out against it. Providing observations and opinions on the posts here allows to better understand women's psyche, and later depressive, miserable state when they are not held to a standard. Okay, that's a bit of a grammatical error. You could just write, when they are not held to a moral standard required for healthy, functioning relationships. This is also the reason why we do not post women leading other women to asking the big question, where are all the good men? Because it does not provide crucial evidence of their failures and in that mating strategy, and reduces the effect of those observations who would had otherwise. But first and foremost, this is a humor sub/forum. Light-hearted comments that would be socially unacceptable to say in most places are welcome here. This is our place to heal from previous wounds, learn from past mistakes, and discover the root of women's dating failures in an entertaining way. After all, laughter is the best medicine and useful tool to maintaining strong mental health. That is indeed true. Like, and there is there is a biological reason for that too. Like, especially in terms of men. It's how we evolved. Like that's how we're able to process things, is through humor. So let us enjoy each other's company. Enjoy the fact that most of these women are not going to end up in the fairy tale Disney-esque life they think they're entitled to. And to contemplate the evidence we present here as the root of the issues having plagued modern relationships and growing cat lady social media groups. Well said for the most part. Next section. To expose women's total unreasonableness in dating, sex, and marital expectations. Ding, ding, ding! This is what Tinder and other dating apps have caused because of something called the scarcity effect. The scarcity effect is like, oh, there's only one, there's only one of that person, and it's just like, but you could be meeting so many other good people. They're good people in their own way, even though they might look a little different. They still have, those good men still have some value, and so that way you're not like you're not forced into thinking that only Chad is a viable option, which he's not, unless he's one of those religious Chads. They do exist. Anyways, to quote user Lewis Cross's original post, here were all the good men. We do laugh at women's unreasonableness. We do have a chortle and chuckle now and then because of the silly profiles we see. Trust me, on Hinge, those do exist. Women do a surprisingly good job at marking down the red flags. It's actually astounding. I press X on them every time. We want women to be explicit about their preferences. We welcome women saying exactly what they're sexually attracted to. By all means, we want women to be transparent and clear about what they want from men, and in men, and the kinds of men they are sexually attracted to. We think men can learn a great deal by seeing what women are really attracted to. We are also not at all unrealistic in thinking that women are ever going to actually be clear in saying what they want. It's better to watch women and see what they want. That being said, the point is that women's transparency and clarity gives rise to their total unreasonableness in dating, mating, sex, and marital expectations. There's a wide chasm between what most women want and what they can actually get. Yep, that's something else as well. Expectations are too fucking high. And I have a feeling, a lot of the chicks that I would be looks like have a similar looks match with, they're probably looking for Mr. Perfect or Mr. Right, as Taylor the Fiend would say. Like, they're not looking for someone to actually, like, I don't know, treat them right, I suppose. Sorry, I stammered at my words there. Anyways, back to the post. Just look at some of the profiles we poke fun at. The unreasonableness is completely off the charts, bordering on complete insanity. Most of these women will be lucky to get some low delta or gamma to wife them up. Yeah, this is more like alpha, beta male shit. That's whatever. If they could get any man to wife them up at all. And by rights, continuing on. And by rights, those women should be on their knees thanking God every day that anyone has willing to have anything at all to do with them, much less pledge their lives and their fortunes to. And then they should stay on their knees and fillet their men as thanks for those men being with them. I understand what you're saying. I don't think you needed to add that sentence onto it, although it's pretty funny, I ought to say. Women have no idea the sacrifices men make to be with them and support them, and it's time men started expecting women to acknowledge it. This is something absolutely true. Like, they're like us guys, we are willing to make the sacrifices necessary, but you have to prove to yourself that, you know, you're going to stay loyal. Why should I sacrifice my time, my effort, my money to you if you're going to cheat or be a bitch or something else that a lot of guys are starting to wake up to. Continuing on. This is why we call them shallow, superficial bitches for it. This is why we laugh at them for their shallow, superficial bitchiness. This is why we laugh at them for being so unreasonable. Next point. To show visitors and any opposition that these women exist and we're not making stuff up. Where Are All the Good Men is making an impact on Reddit and generating both intrigue and disgust from other communities. We occasionally get spikes in visitors and membership when our content gets cross-posted on other subs, but our forum is getting mentioned all over Reddit, which creates greater awareness of our presence on the site as Redditors click to see what we're about. So it's not just men who are viewing the content, but visitors and our opposition. We want to show them that the nice guys, and by nice guys they mean like the guy who's trying to like be nice so he could get into someone's pants, basically, who are often criticized were right. That women often reject or friend zone decent men for jerks. That women reward jerk behavior with sex, and that women don't care about the respect, courtesy, and stability that decent men provide until they're past their prime and need a bailout. Now, when it comes to nice guy behavior, like I think every guy has had that phase. I know I did when I was in high school. But in general, like what happens is that eventually, you will grow out of it. Like I think it's up to parents to teach them that it's like, being nice isn't the key, like, and only just being nice isn't the key to win someone over. Like, there are such things as quote unquote nice girls. Like, and I'm not talking about somebody who's like genuine, like just trying to be helpful or genuinely nice. Like, they're not really looking for anything else from it. Like, that's actually something I messed up on in part 1 of this video. When I mentioned the chick I try to help at the gym, she actually was appreciative of my help, and the thing is, like, I wasn't trying to like hit on her or anything. Like, I wasn't, like, I was just trying to help out. Like, people do appreciate that, surprisingly, and that, like, and that can be a catalyst to something. Like, you just can't, like, the thing is, sometimes you just gotta help and not expect anything in return. Like, and who knows? That might actually start something. Thing is, at that time, I was like a couple of months away from graduating, and I didn't really want to get involved with anything, so that's why. And also, she was a freshman as well. I think she should meet some of the guys in her grade. That's just my opinion. Anyways, but while some of them who are interested in seeing a perspective opposite are nice guys, most visitors are partial to women, and so they will look partial, yeah, sorry, and so they will look for ways to marginalize or discredit us. But they can't do that if we're posting fitting themed content in women's own words. They can walk away and call us all sorts of names, but they can't call us wrong. Next point. To maintain a unique focus theme that can't be found anywhere else on the internet. Nowhere else on the internet is there such a high concentration of content focused on women complaining about wanting a quote-unquote good man after dating jerks, riding the carousel, and eating their children provided for. Then on Where Are All the Good Men? And we want our contributors to understand that our forum is gaining attention and keeping members interested because we have a focused theme that is unique from other subs. Like, that's the thing. Like, the reason why this forum even exists, it's mainly because, well, the dating apps. The dating apps are why this forum exists, because we actually get to see how unrealistic and bitchy these women are. Anyways, where was I? We're not here to expose every conceivable problem with women, or to point out women we think will be asking the big question in the future. If we allow posts that don't reflect the theme, or even come close to it, then our forum would lose its originality and focus. It would be flooded with posts of women saying and doing bad things at the discretion of the person who posts it. Such content can be found on other subs. That said, while not our focus, I do see the importance in pointing out certain bad behaviors in women that would eventually lead them to asking the big question, and showing others why men are avoiding commitment and going their own way. I would also like to keep the community informed of current events related to our theme that is making headlines elsewhere on Reddit and the internet, such as this Psychology Today article, which I'll talk about in another video of mine. I want to get back to here first. This is more important to me for the contents of this video. Where was I? Sorry, I lost my track. There I am. I would like to keep... Oh wait, I already read that. Therefore, as mods, we will occasionally explore such cases with the community. Basically, only mods may post content just outside the subs theme, but posting such content by mods will be an occasional thing, as we want to stay true to the theme most of the time. So that was kind of not really necessary, but if you want to participate in this forum, you kind of have to know that. Next point. To show women the consequences of rejecting good men for jerks and promiscuity. The feminine imperative wants men in society to be okay with women's dual mating nature. It wants men to be okay with women having a little fun before settling down. The problem is that women largely reject the bottom 80% of men from even a date, let alone quote-unquote fun, sex, and they continue to reject these men when they're hitting the wall and chasing the top 20% for commitment. So I've talked about this in my original dating app video, the 80-20 rule, and it's just like, it's especially prevalent on dating apps. Like, it from the perspective of a woman, like, now I'm not a woman by any means, but I have seen chicks use Tinder and other dating apps, and I see that I don't see a guy that looks like myself. Like, literally a couple days ago, a friend of mine showing me her Tinder matches. None of them look anything like me. And I'm not saying that as like, oh, it's skin color or whatever. I'm saying, like, I did not see a single 6 out of 10 on there. Like, those guys were in the top 20% of guys on in her area, in the mileage that she set to. I could tell. And you know, they might be good guys, they might not be. I don't know. That's the thing. Like, you kind of can tell this stuff by appearance, other times you can't. Anyways, women then go on to think that their sexual history and poor choices in partner should have no consequences on their future behavior or relationships. You know that old saying, modern women and accountability are like oil and water. That they could ride the carousel throughout their prime, then somehow easily play the role of a faithful, loving wife, and shouldn't be judged for her slutty behavior because the past is the past. Plus, we weren't together at the time. I enjoyed getting gangbanged by the college frat. This sub can be really funny at times. But it's not until those women's look begin depreciating, the desirable men won't commit, and they have kids to provide. For do they? Okay, and the kids they have kids to provide for. Do they tend to settle for Mr. Good Enough? Sorry, that was a bit of a grammatical mess, but all right. Men who don't necessarily have the hottest bods or the swag of the jerks she's dated, but who make it up for with a dependable income, maturity, and family man qualities that jerks aren't providing. Like, that's the thing. It's like, ain't no way I'm gonna be entertaining like that kind of behavior. What by the time I get older, I don't want to be single when I'm older. Dating is already bad enough at 22 years old. I don't want to worry about dating over 30. I want to be married by the time I'm that age. Ideally younger. But I do know that marriage is also kind of a rigged game too. But that's another video for another day. Um, but what women pushing 30 and over don't realize is that the kind, mature, financially stable men they meet that they meet and now want commitment from are often the same decent men they rejected in their prime. While women were partying with the bad boys, those decent men were quietly improving their sexual market value over the years in ways appealing to women who want to settle down. Except they remember the rejection and are responding kind to avoid unstable, unappreciative women who view them more as ATMs than romantic partners. Our rejection of single moms and carousel riders posted on this forum is a reflection that the decent men of society, men who possess the commitment and maturity and financial stability these women now want, have no interest in finishing last after the joyride is over. Yep, this sentence right here, and I often say this to like friends of mine. That's like, I don't want the fucking leftovers, and so that's the thing. I'm putting in the work to not get the fucking leftovers. And herein lies the biggest reason why Where All the Good Men is so offensive, because we make women who are past their prime uncomfortable about the prospects of marrying the top 20% they think they deserve. After all, if we're so-called nice guys, trademark, quote-unquote misogynists, and quote-unquote incels, I'll be using icel because YouTube, don't want women with depreciating looks, kids, and a slutty past, then what does that say about the tall, handsome, successful men who certainly have better options? I think this is the last one. But anyways, to act as a direct counter to r/nice guys and the demonization of good men by society. So, I guess before I get into this, I do want to say there are like certain behaviors, aka simp behavior from guys that probably should be demonized. Like you shouldn't be giving your life savings to a chick. Like, no. You shouldn't be giving whores on OnlyFans money either. Same with Twitch thoughts. Don't donate money to them. That's simp behavior right there. And women don't find that attractive one bit. But in terms of other like nice guy behaviors, like there are some actual creepy guys out there. Like I've seen some, I've met some. To say the least, I'm not friends with them anymore. But it's like there are genuinely creepy people. But just because some guy might not be the best at handling rejection, doesn't mean that he's this evil person. Like he just has something to work on. And so I think a community like this is actually like might actually help him out with that. Now on to this section. It would seem on the surface that r/nice guys is a lighthearted community that merely pokes fun at men who call women bitches for rejecting them while claiming to be nice, and some of their most upvoted posts would suggest this. But there's more to the story than meets the eye. The underlying narrative of r/nice guys is to accuse decent men who complain about rejection of thinking that they should be entitled to sex for just being nice. And like I said earlier in the video, I don't think you're entitled to sex just for just being nice to a chick like just once. That's not how people work in general. And I think people can sense that it's like I mean, even someone who's like pretty socially dense, like I could sense if somebody's trying to like manipulate me or like or trying to fuck with me or something like that. But yeah, that's that spiel. If It's rarely about men who specifically demand sex for nice behavior. Any man who claims to be good or nice while admitting to dating difficulties is accused of being a quote-unquote nice guy trademark who just wants sex. And this narrative isn't exclusive to r/nice guys, it's ubiquitous across the internet, with numerous articles condemning decent, respectable men of being nice guys. That's a big reason as to why guys don't really type a whole lot of like sentences on Tinder or other dating apps or even just text messages. Like, I know in high school I was pretty bad about that, but now like I because of that, I think it really made an impact on me. Where it's just like, don't like, unless she actually shows like some form of interest. It's like, yeah, then you could write more than like a hey, how are you? I'm good. Stuff like that. Anyways, the white knights and even some red pillars have bought into this narrative because it's more comfortable to accept that guys at r/friendzone are pretending to be nice to get laid. Then women are choosing the low lifes first and the white knights last. And I'd say don't match with the white knight. Like, I personally, I would not consider myself a white knight. So yeah, I don't like to, like, unless if you're a really close friend of mine, I don't really like to, I guess, be on the defensive all too much when it comes to somebody making a stupid decision. I give them the benefit, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, unless if it's something so fucking stupid. But in general, it's like, it's usually not a good idea to white knight, especially if it's like a lolcow, I'd say. They don't end up all that well. But why would women push such a narrative? Why harp on men's supposed self-entitlement to women's bodies? For the same reason the Me Too witch hunt exists, and is one of the agendas of feminism. To perpetuate the idea that a man wanting sex from women in exchange for his time and resources is a bad thing, and that women should gain attention, favors, and resources from men without having to give sex in exchange. Like, that's a big thing as to why a lot of, there's a lot of dead bedrooms, as this article would put it. And basically, it's just like, yeah, there's actually a quote from a Think Before You Sleep video. I think it's like I forget what it's called. I'll link it in the video description. But basically, it says, I guess to paraphrase, the goal of feminism is straight from 1984, and that's to reduce the joy of reproduction. That's basically what that sentence says to me, anyways. It's like, especially if you're in the dating, phase, it's like there is some expectation for the in and out. Like, that's why, that's the primal reason as to why, like, guys get in relationships in the first place. The sex. The women want the commitment, and that's what happened in the past. Women gained the commitment from men before they had sex. It's now everything's reversed, and so everything goes to shit. Anyways, finishing up with this, the feminine imperative wants to redefine what a good man is in ways that allows women to gain ever greater benefits and advantages over men while offering little to nothing in value of exchange. Any man who exposes this one-sided relationship or otherwise complains about not getting a fair exchange from women for what they siphon from him is accused of being a nice guy. So that's the thing. It's like, you don't have, like, as a guy, it's like you don't have to give like women like much. Like, if you just want to be friends with somebody, like, and even then, I'm not the biggest advocate of that these days. Even though I still have some chick friends, but they're so far away that I'm like, nah, I don't have any. I have no chance. Like, if I were to give an estimate, I'd say they're about like 10 hours away from me. But anyways, where was I? Um, of course, his relationship doesn't necessarily apply. This relationship doesn't necessarily apply to men who are tall, handsome, and ripped. It's primarily for men who women perceive as unattractive, of whom all self-proclaimed nice guys are included. That's the thing. Like, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. You know, if she's not attracted to you, she's just gonna use you for like favors, and most of the time, you know, it's not gonna be anything like equivalent. I think out of all my time in college, there was only like two chick friends that I've had that actually gave something like a equivalent something equivalent to the effort I put into being friends with them. And what I got out of it was alcohol. That's at least something though. Like it's more than just like, he made a bunch of maybes. Anyways, and it's important that women accuse the nice guys of self-entitlement to women's bodies because it would make him appear worse than what he is, which then allows women to feel justified in dating the bad boys when the nice guy's kindness suggests that they should be dating him instead. Many women who demonize nice guys are actually dating jerks that they're projecting good man qualities onto, and women harshly criticize nice guys who complain about rejection, not because he thinks he should be owed sex just for being nice, but because he's resisting his place as the emotional tampon and provider male women need that the jerks aren't providing. If they were actually dating a man who was attentive and chivalrous towards them, they couldn't mock nice guys so easily because they would see the similarities in the significant other. And that's the thing. And this is kind of a policy that I've adopted, is like I'm not going to be an asshole to you. Like, I'm going to try and be friendly, but you got to earn my fucking trust, man. And I'm probably going to get a comment saying, "Oh, Scurvy, who hurt you?" And to answer that, it's like, yeah, people have, and I'm taking the appropriate actions to make sure it doesn't happen again. Like, that's normal. That's being mentally healthy. Finally, this goes on just a little bit. There we go. Where are we? Furthermore, women who demonize nice guys often take advantage of the kindness of these men for attention and favors in ways that would make them think sex might happen, then absolving themselves of responsibility by accusing nice guys of being the real manipulators instead, when these men were really demonstrating good relationship material by being attentive and courteous in ways women in society told them was ideal for a relationship. But after spending many years trying to be the man that women told him he should be, the frustrated nice guy eventually swallows a bitter red pill. Men who are raised to be respectful and chivalrous towards women are doomed to be excluded from romance with them. Now, for me, it's like, if I, man or woman, regardless, if, I will hold the door for people. Like, I'm doing it, to be courteous. And I think that is something lacking in modern society these days. It's just little stuff like that could actually make someone's day a little better. Anyways, they are led to believe that what makes them nice is also what makes them attractive. They are not taught that kindness only builds comfort with women, but it doesn't arouse romantic feelings. That one of the keys to dating women successfully is to balance being nice and being a jerk. What they mean by that is, be firm, have boundaries, standards, etc. But you also want to not be a dick. If a man is too nice, she'll get bored and go after the bad boys. Women say they want a man who's kind, respectful, and treats me right, but their vaginas respond to good looks and jerkish behavior. Decent men, believing what women say, follow women's advice all the way to the friend zone, manipulation, and rejection. The article titled, "To the Guy I Left the Friend Zone in for Too Long," that's probably another article I'll go over, reveals in great accuracy what really goes on in friend zone relationships from a woman's perspective, and confirms that what the nice guys have been saying all along, that women take advantage of their kindness and string them along, that she recognizes he's someone worth dating, but chooses the jerks and bad boys instead, and that he's indeed a good person who is genuinely kind and respectful towards her, and not just pretending to be nice to get in her pants. But whenever nice guys reach a breaking point by calling women bitches, I think there's a healthier way to deal with that breaking point, and it's just walk away. Don't call them a bitch. Don't send them lengthy paragraphs. Just walk away. I've been doing that. It actually works. It actually works in helping you deal with rejection. For all the manipulation and rejection, they're made to appear as if they were never really nice at all. Very few want to consider how women play a role in turning decent men into nice guys. Trademark. Yep. say the least. Literally something like that happened to me my junior year in college. Like I felt like I was being led on, and then by the time you realize that it's like, oh, it's not going anywhere. A little too late, I might add, but I was still able to kind of get out. I was talking to another friend of mine, and I was telling her, and this chick is a lesbian, so it's not like I guess having a straight chick friend. And I was telling her, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna take back the chocolate and alcohol that I gave her on her birthday. And you know why I did that? Because it's like, no, I'm not taking it anymore. That was my way of saying I'm done with this. And so that's what I did. And the chocolate was nice and cool. Tasted pretty good. So did the alcohol. Anyways, where all the good men exist to show what happens when decent men are consistently manipulated, rejected, mocked, and falsely accused for being the respectable, chivalrous men that women claim to want. The dating market becomes filled with women past their prime seeking the same decent men they rejected. Except now those men are rejecting them instead, and in some cases pumping and dumping them. You see, the decent men can become the bad boy. Although I wouldn't really recommend it. Don't be a degenerate. Conclusion. Far too long, r/nice guys have perpetuated their quote-unquote nice guys are pathetic narrative without direct opposition. But now our present answers an important question. If the nice guys complain about being rejected for jerks, then what would happen to the women who reject them? By posting content that fits the theme, our forum reveals the uncomfortable truth. However, the creation of our forum wasn't just in response to our nice guys. They're only part of a larger problem. Where Are All the Good Men is our little contribution to a gynocentric society to show it the consequences of removing all constraints on women's sexual behavior, undermining the nuclear family, and demonizing good men. So this italicized quote right here. This is something that Just Pearly Things would say. Absolutely agree. 100%. And by the way, check out our channel. Especially if you're a chick, you'll actually learn a thing or two about being a good woman. I promise you that. Those men begin checking out of society and go their own way, allowing the jerks who women apparently love to dominate the dating market, and leaving women to ultimately ask, "Where have all the good men gone?" Like the song. That's where that comes from, by the way. Why can't I find a decent guy? Whatever happened to chivalry and respect? and our purpose is to be there when that happens for all the reasons stated above. So let other subs focus on the women who will be asking where are all the good men in the future. We're focusing on the ones asking where are all the good men now. And so that's the oh wait, there's a little bit left. I recommend reading the life story of Carol, as it is the essay that gave birth to Where Are All the Good Men, as well as our recommended reading material for a greater understanding as to why our forum exists. We also created a new forum called Where All the Good Men Are, for men to share their stories and perspectives on the Where Are All the Good Men phenomena. Interesting stuff on the new on that forum where all the good men are. I don't agree with it 100%, but some of them do strike up good points. But I have another reason as to why all this is here. And if you look at the title of the video, and I've said it over and over again in both part 1 of this video and the previous dating app video, it's because the dating apps have changed the way that people think about relationships. Before dating apps, there was just the dating sites. But the dating sites had a lot more barriers to entry, a lot more like questionnaires to fill out, like value stuff, like all that. But now, like, all somebody has to do, they just let their lizard brain take control and just, swipe, 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 swipe. Or, for guys, they just swipe right. And for chicks, it's left, 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 left. Ooh, he's attractive. Right, left, 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 left. But, anyways, to conclude this video, this long ass follow-up video. It's been going on for almost an hour now, judging by the timestamp that OBS is telling me. To conclude, now I know why dating apps are terrible. Like, they're terrible for society. They're terrible on an individual level. They make people feel like shit. And I hope this proves that I am somewhat qualified to talk about, like, dating and shit in my future videos. And with that being said, thanks for watching, everyone.